everybody, my dear students, please sit down.
Thank you, sir.
Shall we discuss our lesson?
Oh, yes, sir.
My dear students, what is our lesson name? What is our topic name? Very good. Before going to new topic, I will going to ask few questions about previous topic. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Very good. My dear students, who said 20th century was an extreme age? Anybody?
Shall I say, sir?
Yes. Say none.
Eric Hobsbawm.
Very good. Sit down. My dear students, look at the blackboard. He was the Eric Hobsbawm, who was most famous historian in 20th century. In which year First World War was occurred?
1914.
Very good. Which countries were not invited to Treaty of Versailles?
Germany, Russia.
For the first time in the world, who introduced to 5-year plans?
Shall I say, sir?
Oh yes.
Stalin.
Stalin is the right answer. Sit. What is our new topic today?
The economic depression.
Right. Now we are going to discuss the great economic depression, which was occurred in 1929 to 39. This was the great disaster, the great crisis all over the nations of the world. During this decade, total economy worldwide declined because of demand and fall in prices of the goods and services. This economic depression was occurred from 1929 to 39. Lasted 10 years. During this decade, all over the nations of the world, total economy was declined because of decline in demand and fall in prices. All the factories were closed down. Now manufacturing goods were in limited quantity. Now people purchasing power was reduced because of expensive goods. Again, declining demand of goods. This cyclical effect, massive cyclical effect caused and led to the Great Depression, the great disaster of economy, which was occurred in 1929 to 39. This was also known as the Great Economic Depression. The real incomes of ordinary people as well as government total decline. In America, more than 25% of the people become unemployed, as well as other nations of the Europe like Britain, France, except Russia. All over the nations of Europe, total economy was declined. All youth become employed. All workers lost their jobs due to close down of factories. Farmers and cultivators, peasants stopped their cultivation because of low prices what they had produced. This was the longest, worst economy was faced by world, all over the nations of the world in 1929.
Sir, why Russia was excluded from Great Depression?
Except Russia, all over the nations of the Europe faced and challenges by the Great Economic Depression. Because of Russia followed special economy. That's why Russia didn't suffered from the Great Economic Depression. These were the miseries from Great Economic Depression. Students, now we are going to discuss 4 marks answers and questions. Important 4 marks answers and questions. Before going to answers, now we are going to discuss questions. First one is, what challenges were faced by German during the economic depression? Second one is, how did Hitler become leader by the depression, the great economic depression? These 2 questions were very important to 4 marks. Now we are going to discuss in greater detail. German industrial production was reduced. Total workers, total laborers lost their jobs. All laborers got poverty and pauperization among the society. Nearly 6 million people were lost their jobs in German country. On the streets, German men and young people, youth, weird placards, their necks showing their willing to do any work. Unemployed youth were used to play just cards and simply sat on streets with fully of salvastic minds. Even sometimes youth had done criminal activities. German mothers, German women unable to fill their children's stomach due to this pauperization and poverty. In these situations were taken as an advantage by great political leader, none other than that political leader name was Adolf Hitler. Hitler was a great orator and speaker. His speeches were influenced, impressed, inspired and galvanized, excited, motivated by the German people. He promised employment for youth who were looking for work. And also he promised to German people to remove all conspiracies against German country by the European nations. Hitler came along with new idealism. That idealism was Nazism, while in Italy Mussolini came with new idealism, fascism. These idealisms, both are fascism and Nazism, was same like 2 sides of one coin. My dear students, he was Mussolini. Hitler advocated and emphasized the idea of national unity in order to expand their nation and over the control of Germany on all the European nations. Now Hitler able to inculcate the aggressive nationalism in the minds of German people. In 1933, the famous Enabling Act was passed in German parliament. That act established and gave dictatorship to Hitler. Now Hitler became a powerful leader and dictator and chancellor and president, commander-in-chief of German army, who awarded Iron Cross at the time of First World War for his bravery. My dear students, now we are going to discuss main and important answer is causes of Second World War. My dear students, aggressive nationalism, imperialism, Balkan politics and militarism, these were also causes and reasons to Second World War as well as First World War.
Sir, I have one doubt. What is meant by imperialism?
Imperialism means especially European countries extended their nation influence and forcefully by the military conquest. We are going to some more reasons to Second World War. First one is Treaty of Versailles and intensity of term. In 1919, at the time of Treaty of Versailles at Paris in France, 32 nations were invited to these peace conference. Especially defeated countries were not invited. Even Russia was also not invited, though it was one of the allied countries. Many compensations and penalties were like territorial and legislative and monetary imposed by allied countries and Axis countries, especially on Germany. Now Germany treating was insulted, Germany was humiliated, Germany was insulted by the allied countries in 1999 at the time of Treaty of Versailles. Now German wanted to take revenge against allied countries. This was one of the reasons to Second World War. And my dear students, one other important causes and reasons to Second World War, failure of League of Nations. That League of Nations, we have already discussed it. The League of Nations was established by USA, especially who became the president of USA, Franklin D. Roosevelt established this peace organization, League of Nations. Though US Parliament refused to join that peace organization, so very soon League of Nations was unable to stop the invasions, attackings of Japan and Germany and Italy. So League of Nations, failure of League of Nations was one of the important causes to Second World War. Next, another causes to Second World War, fear from socialism and Russia. At the time of Russian Revolution, after the Russian Revolution, especially allied countries like Britain, France, afraid of Russia and its socialism. They made friendship and they encouraged Nazism and Hitler. This friendship, this policy, this defense pact was known as, in the world history, appeasement policy. Appeasement policy was followed by allied countries against USSR. This was also one of the reasons and one of the causes to Second World War. My dear students, last but not least, it was the one and only important causes to Second World War. Hitler attack on Poland. Hitler thought that dozens of seaports of Poland takeover and occupation and invasion, it would be a small military operation, but it is not an ordinary task, it is not an easy task. Hitler attacked Poland on 1939, September 1st. Poland packed defense, Poland made friendship with Britain. Very soon, France also joined with them. So, very soon and very next, all the nations of the world, especially all the nations of Europe, jumped into that Holocaust. The biggest war was occurred. That war was known as, in the world history, Second World War. The world never seen before. Unprecedented war was happened in world history. That Holocaust name was world history, which was occurred, which was emerged in 1939 on September 1st. My dear students, what was the immediate cause to Second World War?
Sir, what is mean by Holocaust?
Holocaust means massive destruction and killings by fire. My dear students, now world into split, two blocks or two groups. One is allied countries and one another was Axis countries. Allied countries were U-Cube, means USA, USSR, UK, and also called Great Britain, United Kingdom. Here in Axis countries, Germany, Italy, Japan. My dear students, see cruel and brutal World War. In 1941, Japan attacked on Pearl Harbor, which belongs to USA. See Pearl Harbor attackings. After 4 years, in 1945, USA bombed and dropped 2 atom bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki, which was bombed in 1945, August 6 and August 9. During the Second World War, Japan Empire. Look at that, attackings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki by the USA. Now we are going to discuss another 4-mark answer, the results and effects of the Second World War. Initial stages at the beginning of the Second World War, Germany seems to be a winner of Second World War, but very soon, very few years at Stalingrad, Germany was totally defeated by Allied countries, especially Russia and America. Hitler committed suicide to avoid attackings of Allied countries and punishment, and Mussolini was killed by his followers only. Many Asian and African colonies and countries like India and Indonesia, Vietnam, Nigeria, Burma, Sri Lanka, these countries got independence from their colonial rulers like Britain and France and Germany. Nearly 20 to 25 million people were killed during this massacre and Holocaust. Hiroshima and Nagasaki, these 2 cities were totally destroyed and totally smashed by bombings of USA. Japan surrendered to Allied countries in 1945. Look at that. Both are 2 atom bombs which were dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki for the first time in the world. After long struggle, after the Second World War, especially in European nations, women got empowerment and enfranchisement, especially political rights like right to vote. German and Austro-Hungarian Empire and Turkish empires came to end, and democratic principles were asserted all over the nations of the world. After the Second World War, world had split into 2 blocks. We know that we had already been discussed about Britain until 1945. Until 1945, UK, Great Britain had played prominent role. But after the Second World War, total scenario was changed. World was split into 2 blocks. One block was under the control of USA. Another block was control of the USSR. USA selected capitalistic economic system, whereas USSR selected socialistic system of government. After the Second World War, at the time of ending of the Second World War, one another peace organization was established. That peace organization was UNO, United Nations of Organization, which was established in 1945 on October 24. See, this is the UNO, which is an international peace organization. In which year UNO was established in the world?
In 1945, October 24.
In 1941, who attacked on Pearl Harbor, my dear students?
Japan.
My dear students, we have discussed in this session today the Great Economic Depression and what were the challenges faced by Germany during the Economic Depression, and how did Hitler become a powerful leader by the Great Economic Depression, and what were the causes to Second World War, what were the effects and results to Second World War. Thanks to my dear students. My dear students, have you understand this topic? ఈ వీడియో కనుక మీకు నచ్చినట్లయితే